Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I was just looking over at the other camera that's not the one that we're using. We are using the camera here on the laptop because the other one had some sort of issue or something. So we are about to get started here really quick. We're going to take these quick 30 seconds so that we can be able to do some shares and everything else. So we'll be back here in just one moment. Yo, and welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of our National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week celebration. We are here in Jackson County in beautiful Western North Carolina. This is going to be awesome. We continued the first half. We had several people in person coming in, sharing stories and such, and we're here for part 2. What I want to say right off the bat is that all of the folks who have signed up for the giveaway, what we're going to be doing, because we're having some technical difficulties, is the one that we put out there for everyone to sign up for. Share it. Please continue to add your information to it, because we're going to be doing the giveaway tomorrow during the second half of tomorrow's broadcast. We'll have everybody set up and ready to go. And how has this been for you so far? All right.
Awesome. It's been really cool being here in person and talking to people in person and not on a screen.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's
been cool.
Yeah, that has been very, very cool to have them come in, and some of the stories as well that people have been sharing. They've been excellent. So
very cool people.
We are going to be bringing up our first guest here. We've got a whole list of people that are going to be coming on here with us for a few minutes, just kind of sharing their stories and such. And if you could only see the virtual green room underneath the amount of people that are there right now, this has been good. So we are going to start with our first guest, and our first guest here is going to be Bo Ferguson. Hello.
Hey, Bo. You're on mute.
All right. If you can unmute your microphone.
Step 1.
Always the first rule of going live is to unmute your microphone. So let me try again. Hi, Ricardo. Hey, Sarah. Thank you very much for letting me be part of today's broadcast and today's celebration. It's really, really fun to be a part of this week of celebrating our awesome headset heroes. Thanks for letting me be here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, this has been good to have all of this going on and everything, and I appreciate you being here as well. And I just wanted to ask, for this week, as we are recognizing, celebrating, and honoring our 911 professionals during National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, what is this like for you, and the importance of people knowing everything that they do on a daily basis?
Sure. I am both a deputy city manager who oversees PSAP here, the Durham City County Emergency Communication Center. So these amazing employees are part of my responsibility and part of my privilege to work with here in the city. I also serve as vice chair on the state 911 board. So share that responsibility for overseeing this incredible network across our state and working with my amazing colleagues on the board and the staff of the state 911 board. So for me, it's kind of a double whammy this week to both help celebrate our great employees here in Durham and help support great heroes across the state of North Carolina who serve our residents every single day. So it's a professional pleasure to really be part of this work, to feel responsible for helping support this work. It's also just, though, it's a really emotional week because you hear so many great stories this week of how emergency responders, emergency telecommunicators really meet people in their times of need. And so it's always a special week for me each year because I get to spend time. I get to spend more time with those employees personally and really get to hear those stories. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're certainly grateful for the two of you for helping to showcase that and to help us tell our story.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's definitely been worth it. It's like we were saying earlier, the moment we got here, there was hugs and welcome. This is all good, and I just love that feeling of coming in and just it feels like family.
Yes, and something that you said sparked something in me, because from our perspective, we're not taking calls in the center, but it also centers us to come and spend time with the folks who are, because we work, we're busy, we're doing the next thing, advocating and working so hard, and then this reminds us, this is why we do what we do as well. So it's kind of like a two-way love fest, if you will.
Well, this is the only headset I'm authorized to wear and use, because I only have a very limited skill set. But I say that in jest. I think one of the things that's important for people in leadership to realize is what a unique and very specific skill set our emergency telecommunicators have to have. It is both a combination of highly technical knowledge and a very, very specific, training and skill set, but it's also people skills. It's also really having empathy and understanding how to connect with people. And when I make a joke about this being the only headset I'm allowed to wear, it's because I don't, I know that I don't have the requisite skills to be able to do the work that our emergency telecommunicators do every day. And so it really is a special time of year for us to be able to step back and just really appreciate what a unique combination of skills that is, and how lucky we are that people choose this profession. One of the things that one of your previous guests, Pokey Harris, and I talk a lot about, this is a profession that needs more people. So,
yes.
Here in Durham, we've been struggling for years to fill some of our vacancies. And so, it's really important to help tell this story, because it is a hugely rewarding profession. It is a really meaningful line of work. And so I do hope people will give serious consideration to seeing if this may be something that they would be great at.
Yes, it was so great hearing the 911 responders say how much they love it and how passionate they are. And even the folks who had walked away for a couple of years came back. So I think it's important that they tell their stories and help recruit that way as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a career. A lot of times, at least from, excuse me, when I first started, not a lot of people said it that way, that this was, the profession. It was more so just saying, this is the industry. Now people are saying the profession. People are saying that this is more so a career. And that's something that has to be out there. We keep talking about short staffing and everything else. That's one of those key things, is to say, this is a career in this profession and something that you can do. And there's so many more resources out there now as well to be able to handle a lot of those hard calls that are coming in.
Well, one of the things I'm really proud of our work on the board, that the board has really helped lead under Pokey's leadership and Secretary Weaver's leadership, has been the resolutions that we got passed by the General Assembly in the state of North Carolina, recognizing, to your point about this being really a profession, recognizing that our telecommunicators really are the first responders. I know a lot of cities like Durham have passed local resolutions along that as well, because it's important for people to understand that these professionals really are part of the public safety community. They really have that skill set. And just like firefighters, just like police officers, this really is a profession where you can start and grow and serve your community. And so it's really important that those of us in government, especially sort of generalists, those of us who work close to city councils and state legislators, to help them understand the importance of this profession, so that we create a supportive environment for people to seek those careers and to pursue those careers.
Well said.
Yes, very much so. And looking here in the comments as well, we've got Kimber here that says, this profession chose me. I love every moment. Love that. Yes. Yeah. And, Roxy in here as well saying words matter, as we're talking about, industry versus profession, and also job or career, all of those things, all of those definitely matter.
It's an important part of the story, and I think something that we in the 911 board need to model and lead and just help to continue to tell the story. And events like this and your podcast really help tell that story too. So I think all of that's part of it. You know, we've also pushed efforts in North Carolina. I know the board has supported efforts to get some advertisements out there about this profession to really help let people know that this is a career opportunity, to target folks who may be thinking about a career change or thinking about their first career choice to think about careers in emergency telecommunications. So that's all part of it. And I know there's a lot more work to be done to help tell that story and to help attract people to this profession. But it is such a great profession. It is so critical to our cities and counties, to the, just to the daily life of all of our residents, to really have incredible professionals in these roles.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you, sir, so much for being on and sharing this information and everything in the importance of 911 professionals in all of this. So thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Really am honored to be part of this panel today and to get to throw my comments in with a few of your other guests. And congratulations for finding your way to Western North Carolina. I'm not there now, but I'm spent 9 years out west. You guys enjoy your stay there. I know it's a short one, but they will treat you well, I guarantee you.
Oh, it's been amazing.
Yes, it has.
You.
Yes. Thank you so much once again. And we're going to drop your window down and bring the next person up. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So let me scroll up here.
There she is.
And our next guest
is Harriet Rini Brown, the executive director of the National Association for State 911 Administrators. Oh my gosh, fire me now. NASNA. Oh, love your shirt. Love the shirt.
Because
I'm shinier than you.
You are shinier than me. Yes. Shine your shine.
Yes, shine on and welcome.
I hope Pokey told you I do have to leave. I do have to leave soon. I know the delays are nobody's fault at all, but I stayed on so I could say happy Telecommunicators Week. I know I'll be back again tomorrow, but go ahead, Ricardo.
No, perfect. No, I was just going to welcome you here.
This nice little speech all prepared, but you're already going to ask me questions. So
I was just going to ask you, how important this week is, especially because now I didn't work under you, but at one time you were the director of the last center that I was at Allegan County. So I was just going to ask you really quick about that importance of, those that are working in this profession. And of course, this week as well.
Well, because as you know, Ricardo, I started out I have my headset right here. I wore a headset before headsets were cool. And as you know, I was the director of the 911 center that you worked at after I had left. And the people would take, oh, we really liked Harriet. We just didn't want her on the boards. I started out as a telecommunicator and worked my way through the ranks. And now I still work long, hard days, and I work on things like policy and funding and statutory stuff and framework and job classification and all of that stuff. That's that big behind the scenes thing, so that the telecommunicators can do their job. Because all of that stuff, if there's not somebody there to pick that up and say, 911, where's your emergency? It's all for naught. And that's why we do what we do. Because, from whether it's a duck in the drain to, God forbid, a mass shooting, the call that we all dread, having somebody there, 911, and picking up and answering is, and I wrote this down, that's where the action starts: to save, to solve, to restore, to protect. And that's why the Telecommunicator Week is such a big deal, because if we don't recognize them, then what are we doing here? Because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yes. We did a panel yesterday, Harriet, and one of the panelists, Keely, said something that I'd never heard before. She says that 911 professionals feel like the caller's heartbeat is tethered to their desk.
Mm.
And
Very good.
I know I get chills.
Yeah.
Chills. It gives me chills now, but that's the mindset, so they're doing everything that they can to help them, and we need to support them in any way that we can. And Harriet, thank you for all of the important work that you do. Sometimes I describe your job as you do the things that no one else wants to do. And you're very, very good at it. And we thank you for that and your support of our 911 professionals.
Thank you. I am so honored and humbled to be in the ranks of all of you. And
Awesome.
I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yes,
See you tomorrow.
we will see you tomorrow. And again, thank you so much for coming on, and we will talk more.
Okay.
Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye. Excellent. Yes. This is good. So we are moving along here as we've got our list of folks. And let me see.
There he is.
Yes.
Yeah. So as Brian gets on the screen here, I just want to point out that he pointed out that we started this virtual session by me saying that I enjoyed seeing people in person and not on the screen. So, I'm a great host. Thanks for pointing that out, Brian. I needed that vote of confidence.
Love you, Brian. Welcome. I like how you're just staring into the camera right now like you're frozen. It's like Brian is buffering.
He said, I'll pretend to be frozen so I don't have to respond to that.
Yeah. Oh,
I am frozen.
Oh, he is frozen.
Yeah, he is kind of buffering.
Yeah, I'm totally frozen.
He's like, what was it, Max Hedstrom from Cinemax, like from back in the day? It's like moving and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yes, that guy.
Yes. Sorry.
So hello and welcome. I don't know if your stuff is going to work.
Oh, now he's just deadpanning us.
Well,
Hold on.
yeah, we can hear you though. So
don't curse.
yeah, just
Or
in
you
case.
can.
I mean, you
You
can. This is an adult show. So
Oh, okay. Well,
as Pokey is like throwing stuff at me, like don't tell him.
So you can either go to Brian or
Yeah, we'll come back to you.
Okay.
You're good with that.
Brian Fontes.
All right.
Yeah.
This Brian, hold on. We'll be right back to you because you're breaking out a little bit. So hold on just one moment. Oh, you're good. You're good. We'll come back to you here in just one moment. Okay. We are going to be moving next to
Brian Fonts. Sorry, I have to sing everyone's names.
Hey, this is good.
I'm like Oprah. I am like Oprah. Well, I'm not, but I'm singing names like
yes,
Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, how are you doing?
So good.
Yes. Very,
So
I
good.
thought she was going to sing it. I thought
So
Really?
good.
So
So
good.
good. So good. Okay.
Yes.
Really? You sound somebody's waving in the background.
Thank you.
You're
Yes, thank you so much for being here with us and everything. And for those who may not know who you are, who are watching, which I'm not sure why nobody would, but Mr. Fonts, please, a little background on yourself and what you do.
Oh my gosh. I have the great fortune. It's like you live long enough, you got a long I have the good fortune to serve as CEO of NINA, the 911 Association, which has actually been in my career one of the, if not the most rewarding, like not close to the most rewarding job I've ever had in my life. Because it's so important at this stage of all of our lives to think that we're working in a field that will benefit the public and that all of us can improve 911 by training, by moving technology into the 21st century, and all of these wonderful things that are occurring. And the beacon in all of what I do, and I think everybody at NINA, is that individual member of the public who reaches out to 911. We want to ensure that member of the public has the best 911 service available. And telecommunicators, supervisors, managers, everyone throughout the profession of 911 is attempting to achieve that very objective.
Man,
and
well
on and
said.
the other stuff I've been involved with.
Well, just kind of thinking about, everything that you mentioned just now, from the beginning to now, how much has this profession changed?
I think it's changed substantially. First off, recognition. I think it's important that 911 as a profession is recognized as a profession, and 911 professionals are recognized as a critical link between the public and the rest of the response provided by public safety. So when I first joined NINA, I started referring to the 911 employee, if you will, as 911 professionals. Because if we're going to work to move our profession into a professional rank, we need to refer to ourselves as professionals. And that is what we are. And so I'm grateful to see that change. I'm grateful to see the recognition of 911 as a component part of any disaster recovery. Every Monday morning, I'm on a call with a variety of federal agencies and commercial vendors, ranging from our field to other fields. And as we address issues such as hurricane recoveries, et cetera, 911 is in probably the top 3 priorities to ensure that service is restored in the event that service is lost. And so it's nice to see that recognition. And that's only been in the last few years that level of recognition and moving 911 to that bracket of important critical services necessary to be restored. So I'm pleased with that. And oh my gosh, the number of standards to become a ANSI accredited standards development organization, to see states deploying next generation 911 in various stages, to see countries, thank you Canada, thank you to the Philippines for moving forward with their next generation 911 efforts, and to our friends in Latin America that's beginning their planning efforts. It's important that we recognize that we are finally at the point of moving 911 into the 21st century. That just what everybody can do with their little wireless devices will now be available. And we in the 911 profession have been the kind of the critical link, and the link stuck in a voice-centric world, when in today's world, most of the minutes of use, so to speak, in the wireless profession refer to data, not voice. And so it's important that we have that capability within 911, 21st century capability.
Yes, and it's so important, like with Nina, to know that there are incredibly smart, incredibly caring people working on these very technical standards that will make everything work to bring it to the 21st century. These people who just care so deeply about this working and can work together. We had Congresswoman Torres on this morning, and she spoke about that so well in saying that we have to work together as people in order to bring this technology through, because we can't just rely on the technology, right? That people often say that's the easy part. It's the people and the interoperability and the working together that can sometimes be the challenge. And I wanted to thank you, and the 911 community, I'm sure does, for running this incredible organization full of individuals who care so deeply to come together and make this happen.
Yeah, and I extend my appreciation to all of those volunteers in our standards development world, that they would come to NINA's standard development organization to create these standards for 21st century 911. And not only in the technical sense, but in the human sense, the education and training sense, that make sure that we are keeping up with what is occurring today. And so, I can't thank 911 professionals enough for what they do. Every local traffic accident or any individual who has health issues who reaches out to 911, I know appreciates what the 911 professionals are doing. And we are, without a doubt, the behind the scenes, the unsung heroes, the people that are not seen riding in police cars or fire trucks or ambulances. But we all know how vitally important the role that each person in 911 plays in that response to whatever emergency the public is calling about. And I'm in awe of these professionals.
Not only are they doing this life-saving work that's very, very challenging, but as you said about the volunteers, they are the people. It's kind of like, if not us, then who? Not only are they doing the job, but they're coming together to write these standards. Because of course, Nina doesn't employ all the people who are working on this. They are volunteers. And I could not recommend more if you're out there and you're trying to figure out how to get more involved, how to increase your professionalism, get involved in a Nina group. I mean, my career I'm where I'm at because I got to just sit in on those calls and listen to them. But it's really, that's what's making progress, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's really the heart of the 911 professional, is that they want that profession to improve and to better serve the public. It really is, I've heard this so many times, but it's so true. It's almost a calling in a strange sense of the word, because it takes unique skill sets, talents, ability, emotional sets, cool, calm capabilities that personally I probably wouldn't be able to demonstrate as well. But I'm just so thankful for telecommunicators and all that are the 911 professionals that serve the public.
We heard that so much today when we were talking to 911 professionals here in this room. Almost every one of them used the word calling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's so true. I mean, you have to have those special abilities to be able to deal with stress, to be able to be cool, calm, and collected when the person at the other end of the call most likely isn't. And you've got to deal with all scenarios, all situations, and all age groups, the whole bit.
All emotions, the whole range of human emotions, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And be able to leave at the end of the day and carry on with your personal life, and how these folks can do so and make that transition, and to be successful in making that transition, gives a true meaning to professional, without a doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And just looking here in the comments, a lot of people saying most definitely a calling is a calling, and it is a calling, not for the faint of heart. But also kind of a shout out to you as well on the way you go about this profession, and those that are professionals within 911. We've got Roxy here who says, honestly, I love how much Brian Fonts loves 911, how much he's worked to really understand what we are doing. And it definitely shows. I mean, just the fact that all of you, as an organization, you allow folks like us from the front line to come in to help you build these standards. I mean, that's definitely something that you want to be a part of, because people want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And that's kind of what we're doing already in the chair, answering these emergency calls, but then going further to help build these standards to make it better for those who are coming in later.
Absolutely. Just the commitment, dedication to the profession is just so rewarding. I mean, it just fills your heart.
It does.
Perfect.
It does.
Thank you, sir, very much for being on with us and sharing your insight and everything. And this has been excellent. This has been good.
Thank you for not commenting on my shirt.
I love your shirt.
I heard other comments about Harriet's shirt and so forth. So thank you.
Well,
Enjoy your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, have a good one.
We cut you off.
I
Sorry.
can cut you off. I'm sorry, sir.
I was going to mention though, when he joined us, and I really liked the colorful
I know.
shirt.
Yes,
so.
I dig it as well.
Good choice.
Yes, very nice. Let's see. Looking at the comments here really quick, people don't realize how much what we do affects us in our personal life. It somewhat desensitizes us. Yes, I can see that in a way. There's a lot of people who said that as well. So we've got several people coming in here. We're going to bring in the next person.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
All right. So Here we go. All right. Hello, sir. Mr. Jim Weaver, Secretary, Department of Information Technology. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. First time caller, long time listener.
Yes.
Bet you haven't heard that before.
I was waiting to see who would say that. And awesome.
I'm also afraid what you might say about my shirt. I mean, I was in the dentist chair earlier today wondering if I could call 911 on my hygienist, but I thought it's better not doing that. So,
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
No, I like it. Window pane. Very, very on trend.
Yes, I like it. So,
hey, in all sincerity, I want to thank you, Ricardo, and Sarah for coming to North Carolina and doing what you're doing here today. This means so much to all of us here. Especially our 3,000 911 professionals that we have here in the state operating across our counties. It's just a huge opportunity for them to come and share. I recall earlier today listening to Stephanie talking about the importance of decompressing. That is so true. I know even in my profession, the opportunity to come in and network with colleagues across the country really is a difference maker. Because there's only 54 of us. And, my wife, I love her dearly, but she doesn't understand what I do. and I can only imagine that many of our operators that are going home at night, their spouses, their loved ones, I'm sure there's a portion of that really don't have a true understanding of what our professionals are going through on a day-to-day basis and the different things. And I just think that's so important. It's one of the areas that we're really focused on. Bo was talking a little bit earlier about some of the great work we're doing here at the 911 board. This is one of the areas that I'm very passionate about. I'm also a military member. I know the importance of PTSD. And so this is, the things that we can do as a board. If it's through funding of some initiative, this is through helping to drive some legislation. As Governor Cooper refers to our 911 professionals as the first responders. And we do need to elevate them to the level of being a first responder and ensuring that they're able to get to the benefits and the things that they need, because they're so crucial to us on a day-to-day basis. It's just, it's immense what they do. No one ever goes up and hugs your favorite 911 operator, right?
I do.
So,
No, that's awesome. And hearing you speak about that reminds me of in a lot of the work that I do with 911 professionals across the country. One of the things we always identify as a priority into what they're trying to accomplish, whether it be reclassification or next gen 911 transition, is identifying a champion, somebody who cares, somebody who can help make that change at a legislative level or a budgetary level. And you are one of those champions here in North Carolina. So do you have any advice for folks out there on how to get a champion, what brought you into your love and your advocacy for 911?
well, as you've seen, the lovely lady who's been dancing behind you periodically, I have the honor and privilege and maybe responsibility of trying to supervise Miss Pokey Harris.
supervise.
And I have to know, give me the honest answer. How many selfies has she's taken already? Because there's an over-under on how many selfies that Pokey will end up taking.
It's been about 153.
But when you're sitting there working with someone who's truly passionate like Pokey is, and there she goes, so wave. As you can see, we can have some fun, but this is serious business. And as you're working with someone who's dedicated to the profession like Pokey is, the team that she has assembled that supports our next gen 911 community, it's hard not to be passionate and emotional about the great work these folks are doing. And last year I got the opportunity, and again, it's one of the, I call it the secretary privilege, but we actually recognized a young lady from Wayne County who basically was dealing with a situation where it was a domestic abuse situation where the wife was locked up in the bedroom, husband was out with a weapon, and she's talking to the spouse, she's talking to law enforcement, and she's just boom, 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 doing all these things. And then when I met her and how young she was, and I don't want to call out age, but you know, I didn't know what to say. The only thing I'm like, thank you. Can I hug you? I mean, because you know, when I was hearing the story, when I was hearing her supervisor there at the 911 center, her PSAP manager was going through everything. It's just amazing how talented these people truly are. And you know, I was kind of disappointed, Sarah, that I was thinking 911 Wonder Woman was going to have like 6 monitors, a keyboard, everything else like somehow tied to you as you're walking in as costume. But as I've gone out and been able to visit a lot of the PSAPs,
That's a good idea.
it's just amazing watching them in operation. And then, you know, very unscientifically, the majority of our workforce, I believe, out across our PSAPs are women.
Yep.
And women handle a lot of things, and they also need the opportunity to decompress. And as I said, I thought it was just very brave, and I love the fact that Stephanie brought that up. You know, it's hard for me to top Christy and the shout out from her mom and mother-in-law from Canada.
Yes.
I forget. Kaylin was the one who was 2 months away from graduating.
Mhm.
But even this young lady that I was talking about in Wayne County, her mom was worked in a PSAP, and so it's that calling, that term that's been used here. And then likewise, she was also in the process of pursuing a criminal justice degree, if I remember correctly. So it's just phenomenal. And as we look at the opportunities, and again, our board is very active in some of the criteria that's now being set up, working with some of our community colleges, Richmond Community College in particular, and putting together a curriculum that as our 911 operators are going through their training, how that can also help correlate to some educational opportunities, and they can come out with a 2-year degree. So I'm sure Pokey and others will probably talk more about that. But these are programs that aren't really being done anywhere else in the country. And so it's just inspiring to be part of this journey, and to help lobby and fight for these types of activities that our board is doing, and supporting our PSAP community here. But we're very proud of the fact that I'm not embarrassed to say this. I think we have the best program in the country. We have the best executive director in the country, and we're just very fortunate to be able to do the things that we're doing here in North Carolina. And I'm very fortunate to have a boss, Governor Cooper, who supports this community wholeheartedly.
Man.
Awesome.
Yes.
It is possible.
Very much so. Thank you very, very much, sir, for coming on and sharing your insight and everything. This is
Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow, so I can't say first time caller then.
Oh. We can do it again.
Then it becomes a dad
Okay.
joke.
Well, you all have safe travels, and I'm looking forward to meeting you both in person tomorrow, and have a good evening.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll have my
as well.
monitors on. Okay. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, so funny. I'm
All
in
right.
communication with Brian, and he's not quite ready. He's not quite ready yet,
Okay.
so we'll keep moving.
All
And
right.
it's like JC Holland, if she's with us from Stanley County.
JC. Oh, there she is.
Oh, she's heard us. She's waving. Okay. All
Hi
right.
guys,
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome, JC.
how are you?
We're doing good.
Good.
Yes.
Hi, Pokey.
Oh man, this has been good. So, as we've been doing with others and everything, you're coming on. A little background on you, please.
Yeah, so I have been with Stanley County 911 for almost 2 years now. I am the manager and training coordinator here. Prior to this, I started my career with the Kannapolis Police Department. I was a TC there for about 3 years. I had never really thought about 911. Like, yeah, I've called, but to put that connection, it wasn't there until I came in and I did, my tour, and I sat down and I got to listen to the calls. And it was actually my landlord who was like, hey, there's a job opening if you want to try it out. I'm like, okay, well, let me just see what this, is about. And I do think you guys, everyone's been talking about it being a calling and saying these things. And it's just, once you have the headset on and you're sitting there, it clicks. It's for you. And this is something that has definitely been for me. So.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah. So your sit along that you said that you did,
Mhm.
how long did you stay in there for? And
I want to say it was about 4 hours.
Ooh.
So, I mean, and I can't, it wasn't a whole shift. It wasn't the 12 hours that was mentioned earlier.
That's unbelievable.
Right, goodness. And that's something that we have implemented here as far as our hiring process goes. It's like one of the first things after, I get the applicant, I look it over. I explain, the job, the hours, the schedule, and I have them come in and I have them sit for, 3-4 hours, just kind of to see what they're going to get into. And sometimes, everything is crazy and sometimes not anything really goes on, but that's just the life of a dispatcher. So
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask you during your time that you were in there for those 4 hours. Was there stuff going on or not? Because I know in my history, I've had people come in to check it out and then nothing happens. And they're like, oh, this is easy. I'm like, no,
right.
this is not.
Yeah. No, there really wasn't a whole lot. I distinctly remember somebody calling in. It was not an active disturbance, but the gentleman was upset. Somebody had stolen his dirt. And it's just the little things that we have to deal with. It can be completely crazy. We can deal with, the cardiac arrest, the house fires, the traffic accidents, or, the grandma who's in the nursing home who just wants, her weekly phone call, or the guy who's upset because his dirt was stolen. So
How does one come to own dirt?
I mean, like, do you remember?
No, I mean, you can buy dirt.
Dirt is gold, I guess. I'm sorry. I had to throw that out there. But you're right though, because when you come into dispatch and there's calls that are coming in, you don't know what's going to come in, and that was that person's emergency, right? And that's what they're calling for, and we always have to take it as like that's the emergency, no matter what, no matter how it might sound, because it'll be that moment when you're like, oh, okay. And then something like nuts is going on, or I don't know, but stolen dirt. So
yep.
Look, JC, your mom and dad from Oregon.
Yes. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Love you,
Dad.
Okay, so
Awesome.
I have to say really quick before the next question here that this is probably one of the best parts of all of this has been friends and family coming to the audience and giving shout outs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They've been watching all day. I've been sending them updates like, hey, here's the link. So they were super excited to be able to watch and get to hear everybody's story, not just mine, but everybody's, and really tap into our world, because not a lot of people know about it. So
for sure. Yeah. How important is this week, but also just as you said, people don't know the importance of people knowing more so what it is that you do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's super important. I remember, my days of being out on the floor full time, and now, I'm on the other side of it. So for my TCs out on the floor, for them to know that, us as administration, we appreciate them, but not only us, but our, our other agencies. We are county agencies, so we have, police, fire, and EMS. So a lot of our agencies will come together to provide a shift meal for everybody and come in and say hi, or like our little surprise visits. So the little wins, it is the little things. We've got pictures up all over the center and stuff like that. So they are, appreciated every day, but also, a little bit more so during this week too. So.
Yes. Awesome. Yes. Excellent. Thank you so much for being on, sharing a little bit about your story, but also having your parents here. Yes.
That was super cool.
Awesome. Well,
thank
again,
you for all you do.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
And thank you guys for putting everything together and coordinating, with the state. We do appreciate it so much. You guys are bringing light to us. So.
Oh, we appreciate being here. It's an honor for us. We helped certain things, but
it's mostly
Pokey
Sarah.
and Sarah, yes.
Yes, thank you guys. Them too. Yes.
They are the ones who really did all of this. But again, it's been an honor for us to be here and do all of this. So again, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your time.
I will. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you. Okay,
All
so
right.
Brian is ready.
All
we
right.
think.
We think?
I mean, according to him.
I like how he's smiling down there. We can see him. All right, here we go.
We'll give it another go.
Yes.
How about now?
Yes, you're moving. So
Yes.
that's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah, and I can actually see and hear you. That's all much better now.
Oh, good.
Nothing a second laptop can't fix.
I admire your IT skills.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, snaps.
story for another time.
I was going to say, it sounds like there's an inside joke there or something, or a story. But Brian, thank you very, very much for being here. And, a little background on yourself, please.
Well, thanks, Ricardo and Sarah. I'm so happy to be here. Happy to support North Carolina and the TC Week celebrations. For me, I've over 27 years in 911, and I started as a 911 telecommunicator, probably in some ways the shortest part of my career, but parts that I do definitely relish and miss and don't miss all at the same time. So I do take this effort of recognizing all the public safety telecommunicators out there this week and thinking about what they're going through, because I definitely have been there and done that. And so I worked in the Chicago metropolitan area at 3 different 911 centers. And for the prior, it's been a year ago, I was working at a large 911 center in suburban Chicago called Duchem, where I was the executive director. But now, as sort of the logo behind you says, now I work with the National 911 program, and really excited to be in my new role there at 911.gov.
That is, all of it is excellent, especially when you officially announced on LinkedIn that this is where you were going. I remember getting a hold of Sarah and was like, dude, this is awesome. Like I've known him for a long time, and this is going to be cool. And for the office and everything that you work for those who might not know, even a little background on that. What is something that you would want people to know more so about what you do?
Yeah, I think that we exist. So as
Yes.
reach, you guys' reach and everything is that there is a 911. There are many parts of the federal government that work on and focus on 911 issues, but specifically the National 911 programs housed at NHTSA, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. And we're the home of 911.gov for a lot of reasons, but notably our focus is on safety. And so the program's been around for over 18 years. We've done a lot of support to the states. And in the last year, since I've been in the role, one of my big goals is to reach a much wider group of our stakeholders and to reach all the way to telecommunicators and for a variety of reasons. But one is just that, the lifeblood of the profession, right? Like, I mean, we can help and support a lot of things. We don't have a lot of overall like authorities, we don't regulate the carriers. That's the FCC. There's all the different arms of the federal government that have involvement in 911, but we're here to support the 911 program as a whole, as far as any way we can. And so a lot of what we do is on 911.gov. I really encourage people to go there, sign up for it. You can get news updates, gov deliveries, and things. There's webinars you can sign up for, and you can definitely learn a lot about the projects. We got a lot of information available. We publish an annual report. I mean, you heard from NASNA earlier, Harriet, and how I came to meet Pokey in North Carolina is that we work with the states and we publish an annual report. So there's a new report that was published in February out there that's got our 2021 data that we collected last year, that you can see to our best information, how many 911 calls we get, and what percentage of them are wireless, how many people are doing EMD. And we want to grow on that. We want to build and collect more data, because I think data helps drive all of these things we're talking about. If you're talking about reclassification of telecommunicators, if you're talking about more federal grants, anything you're talking about, we need data. And I think we can definitely have a lot of areas we can improve in collection of data and sharing the data.
So, Brian, one of the things that we heard all morning is the sense of community and how that community can help improve 911 service, being there for each other, caring about each other. I know one of the things that the National 911 program has done throughout the years is bring the community together, bring stakeholders together, and all of these projects that you work on, and you can view them all at 911.gov. There's a long list, and they're so interesting, but you don't do that in a vacuum. You always bring people state level, national level, 911 center level together to work together on these projects. So the projects that you work on are from 911, by 911, for 911. And that's one of the things that I really want people to understand about the work that you do federally. While it's housed under the federal government, you involve everyone from everywhere and connect those dots and bring folks together. So when you talk about the data collection and what that drives, I just want people to remember that when you're filling out the survey, it means something. It means a lot, and it drives what you're able to push for and do at the program. So sign up for the newsletter and do the bi-monthly webinars and learn about what's going on. It's up to you to take that step to learn. So Brian's there to help us.
No, and I think that's a great point, Sarah, because the reality is like you said, any document that the programs put out, and we focus on convening and collaborating with all of our stakeholders. And you'll see that when you open a document. So we got new information coming out about GIS, we got information coming out about CAD interoperability. You're going to open the document and you're going to see a list of all the people from around the country that worked on this, and maybe they're technical, maybe they're operations, maybe they're state level. But that's the point, is we get and get that feedback and that participation. And I want to be able to bring it even more to the telecommunicator level. There's absolutely no reason that everyone in this profession isn't going to 911.gov when they need something.
Yes. Agreed.
So I just wanted to put this up there on the screen. Maybe either one of you could answer this. So someone here.
So,
yeah, it just says, are there federal grants for 911? Where can I search for them?
You can go to 911.gov and it's going to take you to a listing under grants. You're going to be able to find it pretty easily, and you're going to see what they are and what you can do. I will say this, especially coming from the local government a year ago, wearing a local government hat, now wearing a federal hat. There are two schools of thoughts. Many of you are going to be like, there's no money available. That's not entirely true. What you have to do is figure out, what are you trying to do and what program might be there to support it. There are a lot of grants that are available. Even from a transportation point of view, we're trying to connect the dots on, there's things 911 could be doing that would improve traffic safety. Only 40% of our 911 centers use emergency medical dispatch. Well, emergency medical dispatch could improve an outcome of a crash. And so if we can improve outcomes in the crash by doing EMD, guess what? Maybe there's transportation money out there for that. So you've got to look at this stuff and get creative, but 911.gov will drive you to some of the more traditional places. And again, you've probably already heard from other people. I mean, there's a big push for federal grants for the entire next generation 911 deployment. That's not currently out there yet. But there are a lot of different grants out there. There's a lot of different things. And that's some of the things that we try to do, is connect those and make those available. And we do that with our partners. DHS, CISA does a lot of work on grant collaboration and pulling information together that we then take their stuff and publish on 911.gov. So there's a lot of people that are trying to make it easier to find those resources.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. The person who asked, they were just saying that they're trying to save their job. I guess it says that their center is trying to, or someone's trying to close their center again. So they're trying to figure some things out.
Yeah. Understand.
So there you go. You can check out 911.gov and do some searches and find all that stuff there. It's awesome to have this resource. And someone in the comments as well kind of chuckled at what you said about, when I had asked, what do you want people to know? And you're like, just that we exist. So that's a big thing there. And I am super glad that it's.
Yeah, I mean, I travel around. I've been very fortunate to get to some of the conferences over the last year. And that's something that, our main stakeholders, our federal partners, our state agencies, they definitely know we exist. Most of the people that are out there in really on the cutting edge know. But to a telecommunicator level, we get people on our own webinars and things like, I didn't know you were there. And again, that's probably just because the programs just continue to grow and evolve, and it continues to do so. But there's no reason that we can't bring more resources and do this. I mean, some of what we do, and we talked about this, is, tell me what's missing. What is no one working on? What is Nina or APCO or others not doing that we could do research on, or that we could provide some information on? We can do those types of projects, and that's where we fill in a lot of gaps, and that's where you'll see a lot of the topics we focus on. And then everything else is just getting people together, working with our partners at DHS, NTIA, FCC, the Department of Defense, whoever it is that's got 911 centers or interest in 911, we try to bring them together.
Awesome. Perfect.
Thank you for everything you do.
Yes. Thank you, my friend. And
no problem.
Hang on.
Happy Public Safety Telecommunicator Week to everyone out there working under a headset, in a center, supporting it, whichever. Doing great work.
Excellent. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the day, my friend.
All right. See you guys.
All
See
right.
ya.
Have a good one. All right. Excellent. I'm glad that we were able to have him on, and for whatever was wrong with the internet before, for it to kick in so that he could come on and talk about this, because people definitely need to know that it exists. The 911.gov is there,
Mhm.
and that there's so many resources. So please make sure to go out there, check it out, and learn everything you can.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
This
out
has
there.
been good.
It's
Mhm.
free.
Even better.
It's all free.
Yes.
Well, tax paid for by your tax money. Free to
All
you.
right. So we've got another guest that's going to be coming up here.
Herman Weiss. Yep, Herman Weiss.
All right. So we have Herman Weiss that's going to be coming up next.
All right.
All right.
Hi,
Hello.
Herman.
Hello.
Hey,
Welcome.
Ricardo. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Pokey.
He says, "Hey." She waved back.
I think she loves doing this. Is Pokey's favorite part. This is just popping in.
Yeah. Yeah. And really quick, let's see. Lone, you don't have to apologize or anything for the amount of questions. I'm glad that you're asking questions. We want people to ask questions and be
Yes.
engaged.
Yes.
Had you not asked, you would not have known about 911.gov or even tuning in. So thank you for answering or asking that question, rather. And Herman, welcome. Thank you for being here, and a little background on yourself, please.
Thank you, Ricardo. So I am the 911 director here at Chowan County 911. Also the first vice president of North Carolina APCO. Have been in dispatch for the past 16 years. Also a volunteer firefighter for the past 35 years.
Wow.
Excellent. Well, and it's good to have you here. And how did you get involved in public safety to begin with?
So as a little kid, I always remembered watching Emergency. Always loved Squad 51. And, I got in high school and decided I was going to volunteer as a firefighter. So I've been a volunteer firefighter. But I was working for a private ambulance service, and they needed somebody to go in dispatch. And I said, yeah, I'll volunteer. I'll do it. And right off the bat, when I started doing that, even with the private ambulance service and then moving into the 911 industry, I loved it. I can't think of anything else that I want to do. It is rewarding. I love every minute of it.
What were some of the things then, I guess, that really kind of got into your blood there? Was just the calls? Was it, just working with people? Or, what was it exactly? Or was there even really a moment? Did it just kind of happen? You're like, this is meant for me. This is what I want to do.
I don't know if there was anything in particular. I think it was just that it was, hey, this is meant to be. I want to help. I've always been that kind of public servant that I want to help people. I don't want to say that, oh, I've saved this life and I've saved this life. I don't want to boast myself up, but saving a life, making sure somebody gets out of that house fire, being the one that is listening to them while they're screaming and hollering and trying to calm them down. It just to be able to have them calm down, it makes me happy and joy.
Hey, you can boast. You deserve it. You've earned it.
No. The telecommunicators deserve it. Those are the ones that deserve it, and that's what this week is all about, is about the telecommunicators. Like we say here, they are the heroes behind the headsets.
Mm-hmm.
They are the angels across the airwaves. And this week is all about them. I tell my team, it's not all about me. It's all about you.
I love that, but also the fact that, so for me, when I was in dispatch, my director and deputy director, they came from, we worked with them. They were on our team and stuff. So when they got up there into those positions, we felt like, yeah, some of our own are up there, and they're going to take what it was that they dealt with, like that experience, and help progress, evolve. And I kind of feel like, in a way, you might have been there as well. Look, you're the first VP of North Carolina APCO as well. So there's a lot of change that you yourself want to bring in, but also working with everyone as a team to be able to do that as well.
I still dispatch. I still jump in the center every now and then. I mean, my office is right there by them. I mean, I hear the phones ringing, so I'll go grab my headset and jump in there. I work part-time in another center. So I'm still boots on the ground with them. And I love every minute of it.
Well, as Sarah was saying a moment ago, you definitely have, you can boast as well. It's about everybody, but you're still doing it as well. That's the thing, is you're still in there doing it, because I'm sure there's a lot of us who have had folks that don't come from public safety that end up becoming, a director, deputy director, and then they come in and they want to sit down. You're like, no, like, hold on. Like, you've got to learn everything first, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. But for you, you are coming in with that experience and stuff, and people feel comfortable. And that, I feel like that's really a big thing too.
Yes. And I think as a leader, go ahead.
No, go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, as a leader, the leader that you are, to say it's not about me, it's about them. That is just a leadership skill that people need to see, and that you model, and that's awesome.
Well, and that's my motto. It's not about me, it's about them, because they're the ones that make this center great. And as Secretary Weaver said, like with the community college, I'm going back to school with Richmond Community College to get my associate's degree in the communication field.
When do you sleep?
Yeah, exactly. With everything and part-time work.
Sleep is overrated, Sarah.
This is true. Yes.
Wow, you're amazing. That's so cool. So cool. Never stop learning, right?
Exactly.
So I want to say thank you to both of y'all for coming to North Carolina and doing this, Ricardo. I mean, we've met before in person.
Yes, sir.
Sarah, it's a pleasure. Like I said, thank you both. And thank you to all the telecommunicators here in the state of North Carolina. Y'all are the true heroes. Yeah,
thank you. It's been an honor, and yes, thank you for being on and sharing your story and your insight with us. Thank you.
I hope to meet you soon.
Yes.
It was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one, sir.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Holy cow.
It's sleep is not there.
I feel a little lazy now.
Oh, that is amazing. I love it. I want to say, so Ryan Chambers over here said Herman Weiss, the humblest man in North Carolina.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for being on and sharing all of that.
Grayson Gusson.
All right. So our next guest here is going to be Grayson.
There he is.
Hello.
Hi, Grayson.
Hey, good evening, I guess now.
Good evening.
Yeah. Whoa.
Hey, Pokey, I see you back there.
Oh man, that freaked me out for a moment. I didn't even hear you move.
Put a bell on you.
I know. It's like, man, I haven't eaten enough today. I'm like hallucinating. But she was really there. Grayson, thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely. So coming behind Herman, that's a hard act to follow. But, we're celebrating telecommunicators this week. And at first, just want to thank both of you for doing this. I think this has been a great
pleasure.
And looking forward to tomorrow as well. For those who don't know me, I'm the training supervisor for Davie County 911 and also the immediate past president for North Carolina APCO. So it's been a privilege to serve along with Herman and Christine, who will be joining us later, I believe. Actually started my career 20 years ago in 2002. And I did have a story just from this week. I'm teaching a emergency telecommunicator certification class. And in that class, we focus a lot on the policy, procedures, protocols, and not so much on the customer service. As telecommunicators, we play one of the most important and highest roles in customer service, dealing with people on their worst days. So the policies, procedures, everything, that's essential, but we also tend to forget the human element. So I just want to make sure we remember that, words we say are forgettable, but how we make people feel, they remember that forever.
Yes. And as a training supervisor, so we had, was it Christine, one with the cool glasses earlier today, talk about her experience being trained and how that inspired her to become a trainer. So the way that she was treated by her trainer inspired her to go on, and I'm sure she's excellent as well. So do you see that happening through your reach in training folks and inspiring them to do better and give back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all agree a lot has changed over 20 years. Training at that time was maybe 2 or 3 shifts, and then you were on your own.
Mm.
And that, that's how you learn, but that was not the best way to learn. So
For
I think
sure.
the structured approach certainly has benefited everyone involved.
Yeah, I can fully agree with you there. I started in 2001, excuse me, and my first shift in Central Florida, it was midnight shift. My trainer showed me everything and took a 911 call. I observed, and then it was my turn. And I
That
thought,
sounds about right.
right, yeah, and I remember him saying to me, and he was a very seasoned dispatcher, I will say, and I just remember him saying, Ricardo, this is the only way you're going to learn. You learn on the job, and you have to be human. First and foremost, you have to be human. You have to have thick skin, and you have to have common sense. And I said, but there's nothing else. And he's like, you'll go to it was like a 40-hour beginner's dispatcher course that I went to like a week or two later.
After that. Yeah.
Yes, but that's the way it was. But everything has changed leaps and bounds, and it's been really good.
Yeah, and another thing I do want to do is speak to the frontline telecommunicators across the state. As serving still as a frontline telecommunicator, I was actually mentioned earlier, became the chapter president for North Carolina APCO in 2019, and prior to that, Mike Wrights had served in 2007, and both of us have been the last ones who have served our primary job on the front line. And many of the past chapter presidents have worked the 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I feel like we kind of broke the mold a little bit, but when I took the role, just like in 2019, I was ready for it, and then 2020 hit, and we all know what happened. But I was very honored to have the support of my agency and my coworkers, and then 2022, Christine became the chapter president, and thanks to the COVID and a couple other things, I've actually was the longest serving APCO president in North Carolina history. So I'm just saying all this to really focus on the ones who think that you're just a dispatcher, and that's the phrase I hate to hear. You're only just a dispatcher if that's all you allow yourself to be, really. I do want to challenge the frontline people who are here watching today or watching later. Just keep learning, keep growing, always keep pursuing your goals, and never let your title or lack of title, for that matter, hold you back from anything. It's important to continue growing, and I just want to make sure to emphasize that for anyone who is watching.
Man, well said. I know.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Yes, definitely. And thank you very, very much for being here with us and sharing all of this information. This has been really good.
You just got
I do appreciate it.
Presidential nom from Roxy.
Here.
Put that up there.
Boom.
Oh,
there it is. Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys doing this, and happy Public Safety Telecommunicator Week to everybody.
Yeah, right back at you. This has been good.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right. So
I love that. I love that challenge.
Yes.
Call to action.
Yes, call to action. Thank you for that. That is excellent.
Yep. Christine Moore.
All right. So we've got our good friend Christine coming up next. I see her smiling just a little bit as she's down there. Oh, now she's laughing. All right, here we go. Hello, Christine.
How are you? Hey, Toby.
We might be getting a little loopy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Well,
hi, Christine.
Yes, there's already people in the audience saying hello to you. So this is great. Welcome.
Thank you for I'm honored. I can't even put it to words how honored I am. So thank you.
Oh, hey, it's a pleasure to have you on. It's an honor to hear from you. And for those who are watching, a little bit of your background, please.
Oh my goodness. So I am currently the operations manager for Guilford Metro 911 in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm also serving as North Carolina APCO president for about maybe 15, 20 more days. And then Herman will take over. But so I have been in dispatch since 2002, so almost 21 years, but in public safety, almost 24 years. So I'm kind of on that downhill slide, heading towards retirement and looking toward what the future has to offer with the telecommunicators that are starting today.
Awesome. Well, you've been doing some excellent things, and every time I see you as well, you've got a lot of stuff going on, just like a lot of the others. I don't know how you do it. Nobody sleeps, I guess.
Nobody sleeps.
Yes.
Everything's fine.
So how important is this week to not only yourself, but to be able to recognize all the folks that you work with?
So it's very exciting to me. We actually started this week off with our banquet where we recognized our telecommunicators for their Ryan.
For Ryan.
For their successes throughout the year. We actually celebrated 30 life saves just at Guilford Metro 911 in 2022, which being able to do that and show our elected officials, we had state, local, federal elected officials here to celebrate what they've done, but to also show the importance of 911 as a part of that public safety entity, right? So as we all know, we're still classified as secretaries on the federal level. In North Carolina, we're not classified at all. So we're kind of trying to rewrite that script. And we started kind of from the bottom, working up, I guess you could call it, by having resolutions read for 911 being public safety in Greensboro and Guilford County. And then fortunately, we've been able to have some statements read on the state House floor and state Senate floor recently. And so we're just trying to keep marching our way up to getting a reclass or a full-on classification in North Carolina and a reclass at the federal level. So it's exciting to be able to show our elected officials what our people do and get to bring them in the room so they can see what the hub looks like.
Well, thank you for all of that work. I know it's a lot, and a lot of people don't see everything that goes into just getting your foot in that door, right? To do that process. So thank you. That's, definitely above and beyond, and you're making a huge impact.
Well, we're trying to. We don't want this to be a same issue 10 years from now. We want to ensure that, our folks are recognized for the role that they play in impacting people's lives, saving people's lives. One of the biggest life saves that we had in my mind at our banquet on Monday was a 13-year-old. He had collapsed on the football field, and our call taker, it wasn't immediately obvious that was what was going to happen with the call. He stayed on the phone and his intuition kicked in. He felt like something wasn't quite right. And so he asked more questions and started delving a little deeper. And it turned out that CPR was required. And that young man was able to go home to his parents, at the end of the day. So what our teams are doing out here selflessly, nights, weekends, holidays, I can't even thank them enough.
That is amazing. This is really good. What about the kind of the feedback? You talk about how you brought some officials in. There was media and everything that there were, there within the hub, as you're saying. What has been some of that feedback? Because it's always interesting to me to hear, from folks that are not part of it to go in, especially like a Citizens Academy or something, for them to go in and sometimes hear that. Oh, this is what it looks like. Mm-hmm. This is what you do. What? How has that been for you?
You actually hit the nail on the head with your that gap, right? Because it's so surprising to them to walk in and actually see, not only just to see it, but to hear, it's one thing to hear a 911 call or to hear radio, whether it's on the media or however you hear it. but to actually stand in that room and to hear everything else that's going on at the same time, it can be a little overwhelming for those that come in that don't have any background in 911. We had some very nice feedback that was posted on our elected officials' social media saying just how much they appreciate what we do and how even they didn't realize exactly what was being done in their own 911 center. So getting to see that appreciation, the respect that it in turn brings to the telecommunicators that are making those sacrifices has been wonderful.
That's what I like to hear.
I love what Mary said, because I think it speaks to what you were saying. It's been years of our representatives in the 911 community, and it's changing our profession slowly but surely. And these things do not happen quickly for the most part. And it does take tiny baby steps and moving inches and moving inches. And then, we look back, 5 years ago where we were compared to where we are now. And I think it's important to do that, to feel like you have made progress and all of your efforts are paying off. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it will happen because we have people like you and the 911 professionals out there who are working towards this.
I agree. Sarah, I would just encourage anybody that's listening that if you have never invited your city, county, state, federal representatives to come in and see your center, I really encourage you to do it. And it's going to take asking over and over and over again for it to happen. And a perfect example is just this year, our director, Melanie Jones, who's coming up, I believe a little bit later in your program, has incessantly each year invited the governor's office to attend our banquet. And wouldn't you know, this year, the lieutenant governor attended our banquet. So it's not just going to happen on the first time you ask them. It's going to take multiple years of trying to eventually get your foot in that door, even if it's just the tip of your shoe. And I know Sarah, we wear some pointed shoes, so it's just even the smallest tip of that shoe in the door. Take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. I totally
That's the
agree.
only way we're going to get movement on the things that are most important to 911, and that's reclassification and funding.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for Christine for being on here, sharing your insight, and just it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. And we are going to be moving to our next guest here.
Oh, Melanie. Awesome.
All right.
I know her. Hi. Oh, you're muted.
There we go.
Yep. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
We're good. We got Pokey.
Come say hey, Sarah.
It's like, no.
We're punchy.
Well, we're punchy. She said.
We're punchy. She said it.
No, Pokey, we have been nimble today.
Extremely nimble.
Yes, we have.
Yes. Easily jumping over that candlestick. Yep. We've been doing it. Sorry, I don't know. Pokey just jumped over she just did it. She just jumped over the candlestick.
Yes, thank you, Pokey.
Melanie, thank you so much for joining us. This is awesome. Always an honor to have you on. And please, for those who are watching, a little background on yourself.
So my name is Melanie Jones. I am the director here at Guilford Metro 911. I am also the North Carolina APCO representative on the state 911 board, and I am the National NENA second VP. I have been in public safety for almost 35 years. I started when I was 9, so everybody understands
Clearly.
here. So yeah,
Right.
but I started out 10 and a half years as a deputy sheriff full time, and then transitioned to the 911 world 24 years ago. Absolutely have loved every minute of it.
Excellent. Well, I mean, every time I've seen you, it's always a pleasure. I think, especially some of the times that I've seen you at 911 Goes to Washington, we would just sit and just talk, and either we're sharing stories or war stories from dispatch or whatever, but also talking about this profession and how to continue to progress and evolve. So, for me to you, thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
I can echo that. I've had the pleasure of having a little bit of time to sit down with you, Melanie, and it just had a huge impression on me. So I thank you for taking the time to do that, and I think you do that for a lot of people. You seem to be a mentor for about 50,000 of your closest friends. So it's so important, and thank you for doing that.
Always. I will always make time if I have it, for sure.
So looking at this week, how important is this, to you, and but especially for those who are being recognized this week, but, not just this week, all year, all the time.
Right. As I said in my little video for Nina earlier this week that they have shared, though this week is set aside to celebrate TCs, we honor TCs every day. And I think it's important that they know that and they feel that, because the work they do is saving lives every single day of the year. And when you have that happen, like Christine said, when we celebrated our folks with our banquet on Monday, having those officials front and center to hear exactly what we do, because Christine actually reads out the scenario before somebody gets their life saved. Wow. And so they hear how it happened and what happened. And it's impactful. And like she said, the lieutenant governor, when he went around in the 911 center and shook everybody's hand and thanked them for their service, he said, I had no idea. And that's why, like she said, I send the invitations every year. Can't stop sending them because eventually it'll get through. So.
That's awesome.
That hit me right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's incredible.
I think that's one of the most important things, as we were saying with Christine as well, to have those folks come in and sit there or stand there, whichever, to experience it, because there's nothing like it. And especially when things are just going nuts in there's nothing like it. So, excuse me, the more the people understand, the more that, even more so, we can all just bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's so important.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
I know that's a lot of hard work and just so important.
Yeah.
So thank
and
you.
We appreciate y'all bringing awareness to it. Both of your organizations and groups are so important to our mission and what we're trying to do. So we truly appreciate all you do as well.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and definitely an amazing experience. This has been good.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us here. And
see you in person tomorrow.
See you in person tomorrow. Yep.
What? Yes. All right. Well, awesome. Yes. We will see you tomorrow then.
All right. Sounds good. Y'all take care.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye. Oh, that's exciting.
Yes. That is very awesome.
We have Story McIntyre from Cleveland County. She's the 911 director.
All right. Awesome. I see her camera just turned on.
Out West County.
and she's waving. I dig the headphones. Okay, hold on. Here we go.
I can't see them.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey,
Pokey. So I love the fact that your headphones match what you're wearing. Very nice.
Same.
Yes, I dig it. So
we have to coordinate the chaos, right?
Yes. Yes.
It works in all ways.
It's the little things. It's the little things.
This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here, Story, and a little background on you, please.
Sure. So Story McIntyre. I am the director here at Cleveland County Communications. A little bit about how I got into the career. I'm actually a September 11th birthday baby. I won't tell you the year because people don't need to know. But I was born on September the 11th. And then September the 11th of 2001, I was sitting in a college class when the 9/11 attacks happened. And they started a couple of days later playing some of the calls. And at that point in my young life, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was in some criminal justice classes, but had decided that police work was probably not going to be my forte. And I heard a couple of the 911 calls and I said, man, I think I want to do that. So the 9/11 experience is what prompted me into a career for 911. So I have a trio of 9/11s that revolve around me. And I think that's a really cool thing that kind of separates me from some of the others.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you make a wish when you see that the time is 9/11?
Sometimes I will say that I typically try to celebrate my birthday on a different day now, but that's okay.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Social media is full of all the the downhearted stuff about the event, but it's still my birthday nonetheless.
Wow, that's something. I definitely was not expecting you to go there with that story or how you started out or anything. But there's
That's
a lot
really
of
cool.
folks that that I've received emails on personally where they have said that they've heard a lot of stories, whether it be on the podcast or just throughout social media or just talking to others about what they do, and it inspired them to ended up pursuing this profession, a career in this profession. So there's something, and I can just see. It sounds like as soon as you got in there, that's what you wanted to do.
It did. It clicked, and 22 years later, I still love every single minute of it. It's just the most tragically beautiful career. It just embodies emotions and passion that most human beings don't ever get to experience. So, I mean, that's something we have, and we get to capture every single day.
Tragically
I
beautiful career.
love that.
Yeah, same. Can we put that
You
on?
can borrow it.
I know. Can we put that in a mug or something? That's
Absolutely,
That really
absolutely.
touched my heart.
yeah.
Oh, well, most of my folks here know that I'm not typically the warm and fuzzy type. I'm high energy, little high maintenance, maybe, but I have amazing telecommunicators here. But more importantly than that, here in Cleveland County, we have amazing human beings.
Mhm.
Every single one of them are just amazing people. They have attributes, each one of them, that are individualized, and I just try to be able to highlight that to empower our team as a whole. They're just great people, and I'm so happy to be here and serve for them.
Man,
You're pretty cool.
I know. Are you hiring? Like,
Y'all are cool too. I've been following both of you for a long, long time.
yay! Oh, that is awesome. So, really quick, what are some of the things that you remember early on in your career? Like maybe even just like some fun stuff. Like for me, there were a lot of different things that I remember that happened. Like, and I don't even know how this happened, but I'll just say this really quick. There was one time where I was working. It was my coworkers and I. There happened to be a mouse that was inside the center, and my supervisor and I are trying to catch it, and we did not hear our coworker, but she jumped up onto the console and she says, "Did you guys catch it?" And we turn around and she's standing up there, and we thought, "You're a ninja. Like, how did you even get up there? We didn't even hear you." So any fun stuff like that, because there's a lot of stuff, not just calls, but fun stuff that happens within the center.
Absolutely. We have an old security camera that faces the back parking lot, and occasionally a spider will get into that security camera, and because of the roundness of the camera, it makes the spider just huge. It almost looks like it's over the whole parking lot. And this early in my career, I turned around. I hate spiders too, so this is not helpful, but I turned around and this huge spider, I mean, it was just there, and it was like poof. And I inadvertently had an open mic, and I said, "Holy, a spider," really, really loud on the radio. And it was really a no big deal, right? So fast forward 2 weeks, and my husband and I went to and not really a club, but a place in 2 towns over in a bigger city. We were at a place, and there was a group of people behind us, and I knew they were firefighters from somewhere because they all had the fire gear. They all have to look the same. So they were all there in their fire gear. And of course, I'm talking, socializing, things like that. And one of them actually came up to me and said, "Do I know you?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." And he said, "Wait a minute, it's your voice. I know your voice." He said, "You're the Spider Girl." So apparently, like two jurisdictions over, they were scanning the traffic where I had the hot mic and screamed about the spider. And he recognized my voice. And it was the most awkward scenario ever in my entire life. So, but it's one I'll never forget either.
That's crazy.
That's the best, especially if it was 2 counties over.
Yes.
The fact that they knew your voice and everything. You're the Spider Girl.
Yes, it was, "You're the Spider Girl." And I'm like, of all the things I could be named, I have to be the Spider Girl.
The thing you hate the most. That life.
Oh, geez. That's amazing. That is awesome.
We have a great time here. I could sit here for hours and tell funny stories, but that's the beautifulness of it, that there are great stories and things that go along with the tragedies. So that's where the tragically beautiful comes from.
I'm going to have you on the podcast to talk about some more of this stuff.
I think so.
I am game all day. I love it.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on and sharing, your insight, story, but just your passion for this profession. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you guys for visiting North Carolina. It's great to see you. I was doing my hair this morning, and my husband said, "Why are you getting fancy?" And I said, "Because I'm going to Hollywood for 5 minutes. I'm going to be in Hollywood. 5 minutes of fame, and I have to do my hair." And if you know me, I don't ever do my hair, so it was really a big deal.
I'm the same way. I wash it like once a week, right?
Same.
What questions? Why did you wash it?
So, but thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have an excellent one.
You too.
Bye.
So good.
My eyes are watering. I'm crying. And
We have one final person,
Uh-huh.
Lynn Slycord from
Oh.
Kings Mountain.
all right. So Lynn, we're going to be bringing Lynn on next here. And then we close it out with you,
Close it out,
Pokey.
sir.
All right. All
Three
right.
of us.
Sounds good. All right, here we go.
Okay, Lynn.
Saving the best for last, right, Pokey?
Thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with us.
Yes.
Thank y'all for doing this and for doing it for telecommunicators everywhere.
Of course.
Yes. No, this has been good.
Do you see what's happening here with Mary? Her mic's not working. She's reading the captioning.
So we've got someone in the audience who couldn't hear what was going on, so they was reading the closed captioning. So I can just imagine how the closed captioning put it there
With the spider.
spider
Leader.
Yes.
Spider lady.
But she had muted herself on accident, so it sounds like she can hear now. And I saw my mom in the audience, so hi mom. hello. So Lynn, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And as Sarah said, I echo, thank you for your patience and hanging in there with us. And just a little background on yourself, please.
Well, I feel like I've been around public safety my whole life. My dad was fire chief here in our city for 30 years. I kind of have a background of EMS. EMS tough on the body. So when a job came open here in our city with 911, I thought, what a great time to apply. I still get to keep my toes in the water without being in the field per se. And I love it. I've loved the transition. So
Excellent. Yeah, no, that has definitely been good. Was there anything different? Like not so much just that hands-on or whatever, but anything that surprised you, moving over? I mean, you got to listen to a lot of the traffic, right? But when you got into it, how different was it?
night and day.
Yeah.
I'd say apples and potatoes. I thought coming over, like, this would be an easy transition. Like, I'm used to seeing the scenes. I'm used to the radio traffic. And I remember my first day, and I was watching my trainer and watching her hands move across keyboards and mice. I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. I used the entire time to train. And here we are. Now I'm an orchestrator. So.
That's so cool, though.
Yes.
Look at you now.
Yeah, you went through all of that. You stuck it through, and what were some of the things that I guess really kind of kept you there? Because I know what you mean. When I made the switch from just me on for 8 hours at a PD, going to a central dispatch where there was 3 to 4 people on at a time, I remember walking in, seeing all of those monitors. There was only like 4 or 5, but it seemed like 100. Yeah, only. And then, the keyboards, the mice, watching the person on the phone, but also talking on the radio, yelling over at the person on main radios, and eating at the same time and thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this.
Right.
How many arms does she have?
That's how it felt. That's exactly how it felt.
Yeah.
I mean, it was overwhelming at first, but you hang in there and you stick in and you dig deep, and I think it's something that we're built for. 911 dispatchers are built for this job. They truly are. I don't think it's a learned. I think it's a talent. And here you.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure to put this on here as we're giving recognition.
Oh, my daughter.
Yes.
So sweet.
Yes, that is excellent. That is awesome. I love, again, as we were saying earlier, the amount of people that have been coming on, sharing their stories, but even more so, those in the comments giving that recognition and just all of it, friends, family, sons, daughters, whichever, that has been really cool.
Yes, that's been special.
We're such a small department here. It's like family. We know each other's husbands, kids, wives. So she's real close to everyone here. So yeah,
it's family.
Big shout out to all the telecommunicators here.
So how important is this week? Like, in your opinion, how important is this week? But also just that, every day, all throughout the year, the job, this calling that everyone does.
I mean, every day I appreciate them. Every day I appreciate all telecommunicators across the state, the country. This week, it's nice to get that extra recognition that sometimes falls, to the wayside. We're not out there in the front line. So it's nice to be able to do something special for them and let them know that this week we appreciate them more than normal. Yeah, just giving them those tokens of appreciation.
Awesome. That is very good. I don't know, any last questions for you as we go into the wrap up of this?
I mean, so you say that you're a small center, and I know that most of the centers around the country are small. That's the majority. And I know some of the small centers out there feel like they're underrepresented. They are not appreciated. They're kind of overlooked as, oh, that's a small center, blah, blah, blah. What, you don't seem to have that attitude. You seem very, very proud and empowered. So what do you say to the other small centers out there who might be kind of struggling?
Reach out to your community, do some things to get yourself out there. Engage in senior centers, high schools, job fairs, just to get a face, to get to brand yourself, I guess you would say.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and I see Roxy Van Gundy out there. So Roxy is the director of a small center in Kansas, and they have had a ton of success with a TikTok account of all things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And other things. I know, Roxy, you have a lot you have going, but when you said that, get out there in the community, there's so many ways to do that. So getting creative and thinking outside the box is
absolutely.
Awesome.
Well,
good.
Yes. Thank you, Lynn, for being on. And again, for your patience.
Yes. Thanks for hanging in there.
Being nimble.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Yes.
Happy Telecommunicator Week, everybody.
Yeah. Right back at you. And thank you again for everything that you do. Have an excellent one.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Roxy's right there. There are so many cool people here in North Carolina.
Okay. So let's see. How do we do this here?
Well, y'all, I'll move out. I'll exit stage. Oh, okay. I won't then. Okay. Well, yeah, you can come.
Do I have to have a?
Oh no, actually, you're coming through just fine. So
can you hear?
I'll put my ears on.
Oh yeah, because it's just us.
Yeah, we're just closing out. It's probably just us. Everybody's done. See, you're as punchy as I am.
Whoa.
She won't be able to
Did you
hear
just
us.
hear that?
What?
Wow.
It's okay. Everyone's fine.
Yeah. This has been awesome. This has been a lot of fun. And thank you so much, Pokey, for inviting us to come and do this with all of you. And just to recognize everyone, but especially a lot of people were saying in the comments, NC showing out. Yeah, shout outs, like everything, like just all the awesome stuff that y'all are doing. I mean, take note. It's been awesome. It's been really, really good. Your thoughts?
I think it's gone beyond any of our expectations. We just wanted to have you all come and let folks share some stories and share, be anecdotal. But it's been amazing. We've had people all over the country. We've had our leadership come on and talk about what North Carolina's doing, our APCO NENA leaders. It's been amazing. The folks here in Jackson County have rolled out the red carpet to us. We just thank them so much for that. We could hear them laughing out there at themselves. The folks who stayed on and you were so nimble, thank you for that, because we're 2 hours late, folks. Some of us have 3 and 5 hour drives back home to start all over again in the morning. But we're so pumped about this. We are punchy, but we're pumped. But what a great way for North Carolina to recognize our heroes, you know, our first responders, these folks that literally are there on your worst day. And they go home to their families and they make supper and they hug their babies and they get up and they go back the next day to do it again.
Yes.
So we say thank you to all of those folks. That thin gold line, it should be a humongous golden road, because these are amazing individuals. So we have my folks out there saying 5-hour drive home, zip it, let's go. So to everyone, thank you very much. To all of our friends across the country who joined us, thank you very much. Tune in tomorrow if you can.
We'll be back tomorrow
in
for more
Orange
fun.
County. So thank
Orange
you all.
County.
Yes.
Happy Telecommunicator Week.
Thank you all.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Giveaways will be coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
So make sure to look out for that. I'll share the link again and we'll get you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Bye.
I'll see you in the next one.